Hello and welcome to another episode of Momento Malum today. The sea beet is the wild progenitor used to breed the common beet into existence, as well as all of its relatives. These include the sugar beet, the mango wurzel, Swiss chard, fodder beet, and table beet. The fodder beet and mango wurzel were used predominantly as a forage crop, while the rest were eaten by people. The sugar beet was later bred to produce sugar in more temperate regions. Based on the data, the sea beet was bred for around 2,000 years to become the fodder beet and all the other beet types used by people. The fodder form seems to be the most primordial form, with other forms coming later. Dr. Goldman and Dr. Janick would create a compilation of the historical and iconographic data to create a paper, and here are the results. The sea beet is found across the Mediterranean coast, Atlantic coast, Scandinavia, and throughout the Middle East, India, Iran, and Azerbaijan. In antiquity, the sea beet was primarily used for its leaves for medicinal purpose, and the roots were used medicinally as well. And they had some swelling, as mentioned by Pliny the Elder. The ancient Greek, Roman, and Egyptian civilizations would use the vegetable beet in their cuisines and medicinal remedies, while focusing mostly on the beet leaves. These sources indicate that the beet was a primarily leaf crop. This further suggests that Swiss chard was the first form of food beet utilized. Indeed, table beet leaves are also used and consumed by many people, including me. Selection process of domesticated beets. To create the table beet, mango wurzel, and fodder beet, as well as the sugar beet, happened after the populations of leaf beet left the Mediterranean region and moved to Europe. The date when the populations were switched from an annual growth habit to a biennial growth habit likely happened in the 14th century, and the swollen root forms were bred sometime in the 15th century, although it's impossible to pinpoint the origins of the table beets. This likely happened between the late 15th century and the 16th century. The mango wurzel likely originated from a cross between a table beet and Swiss chard, despite the fact that chard possesses only a modest swollen root. The progeny from this cross may possess both swollen roots and the long leaves of Swiss chard. The topic of this video, the sugar beet, was bred from the fodder beet by Dr. Margaff, the chemist who identified sucrose from beets in 1747. By 1801, the sugar factory for sugar beets was built. This occurred in Silesia for the manufacture of sugar from white fodder beet. This original form was low in sucrose concentration, but the breeding process would increase sugar production capabilities of this lineage. Outside of agriculture, the beet is featured within a few Western texts of importance. These are the Septuagint, due to a translation error, and the works of Dioscordes. If you want to donate to my channel, the links are below. If you want to buy my book, you can also find that link in the description box below. On the iconography front, the earliest surviving beet images can be found in the Juliana Annica Codex of 512, an illustrated recreation of the Materia Medica written by Dioscordes in the 1st century CE. This shows a red small taproot in their beet depictions. The next chronological depiction is found in the 14th century villa Farnesia that was owned by the Roman banker Aglausino Chigi. This villa contains a series of frescoes depicting the heavenly adventures of Cupid. These frescoes also contain about 170 species and 2,000 images of fruit, vegetable, and flower, painted by the figure known as Giovanni Martini. These include corn, pumpkins, gourd, and spinach. The beet was also depicted by herbalists, specifically Leon Fu, Jacques Delechamps, and Jean Girard. The work of Jean Girard did not showcase any depictions of table beets, but Jacques Delechamps had his work depict the first depiction of a beet with a swollen root, akin to the common beet, and the text made by Fu had the most depictions of beet in Swiss chard in terms of number and variety. Various market and still life paintings were made between the late 14th and the mid 16th century, and these show a great deal of variation in size, shape, and features of beetroot. Bartolomeo Bimbi, for instance, depicted a giant beetroot. The market painting of Franz Snyder showed a red-tapered or conically shaped beetroot. This artist was also a specialist of painting animals and produce of various markets. Some intermediary forms between the orb-shaped beets of modern times and the more conical beets have also been found in his works. Such intermediary lines can be found in the works of the Russian painter by the name of Alexei Veskinov, as well as a 17th century American painter by the name of James Peale. The late 16th and 17th century shows beets with various forms of root, including the first depiction of beet, which looks identical to a modern table beet. The vegetable stall by the English miniaturist Tom Frank Hepfrey depicts a beetroot similar to those in the Peale's painting, although the painting is undated. He lived from 1813 to 1873. As a result, it is likely that the modern beetroot shape became the standard during the 19th century. The next few slides will showcase these paintings, and there's more after that, so do not click away yet. To wrap this up, we'll talk about Ernst Bennery. He was a Prussian figure who was an impressive flower breeder of his time. I made a video about his work in the flower breeding series I did, linked below. He also established a commercial seed and horticultural art company in Erfurt, Prussia, in 1843, and was largely responsible for the establishment of the German horticultural seed industry. Within one of his works that you can see on screen right now, Mr. Bennery had a painting depicting some of the variation of beets in Prussia during that era. As you can see, there's a lot of variation, and that book covers everything. Thank you for watching.